Michael and Margaret Bourke had survived the Irish famine. They had survived an 85-day voyage across the world. They believed the worst was behind them. Within days of arriving in Australia, two of their children would be dead. Michael Patrick Bourke was born in County Tipperary in 1820. He married Margaret Moylan at just 18. They were poor farm labourers raising 5 children in rural Ireland. Then in 1845, the potato blight struck. For a country dependent on one crop, it was catastrophic. Over 1 million died, millions more fled. Somehow, the Bourkes survived. All 5 children lived long enough to reach Liverpool, where a Scottish benevolent society sponsored their passage to Australia. They boarded a 1,676-ton clipper, the Beejapore. Over 800 emigrants sailed in October 1852. The journey took 85 days. It was considered fast. It was also deadly. 56 passengers were buried at sea. 55 were children. The ship's 2-deck design, an experiment to cut migration costs, would later be judged a failure. By the time the Beejapore reached Port Jackson, it was carrying sickness and fear. Officials handled the ship's papers with tongs. The passengers were sent to quarantine at Spring Cove for 5 weeks. The station was built for 150 people. More than 1,000 needed processing. Families were separated. Single women were fenced behind guarded enclosures. Troops patrolled the grounds. Disease spread through the camp. Another 62 passengers died, most of them children. The dead were buried overlooking the harbour, in full view of the living, a daily reminder that survival was still uncertain. Then it was the Bourkes' turn. Margaret, aged 5, Brigitte, just 2, both died of measles within days of arrival, after surviving famine, after surviving the voyage. They were buried at the quarantine station, in a country their parents had believed would save them. Imagine the silence in that tent. Imagine explaining death to 3 surviving children in a land you barely understood. When quarantine finally ended, the Bourkes did not linger. They left Sydney. They headed southwest to the Gundagai region. Michael found work as a farm labourer. Within a year, another child was born. John, their only Australian-born child. Slowly, painfully, life resumed. By the mid-1860s, the family owned their own farm, from famine refugees to landowners. Margaret died in 1872, aged 57. Michael lived until 1891. He is buried beside her in Gundagai Cemetery. Their headstone still stands. They began in poverty. They endured famine. They lost 2 daughters in quarantine. Yet they built a life. Their descendants flourished. Today, Gundagai High School sits at the end of Bourke Street. Michael and Margaret's legacy lives on, not because their journey was easy, but because they refused to give up.